Hello and welcome back at the Finet Link channel. Today we will have a video about the introduction to the Packet Tracer, where the Packet Tracer is a software that you can download and install in your computer. And with this software you will be able to create networks, to configure this kind of network and do the troubleshooting there. So it's an important software for those who want to become network technician and network administrator. To do that, for downloading the Packet Tracer, the best thing for you to do is to go to the netacad.com webpage, search there about the Packet Tracer, and then you'll be able to download it for free with the latest version of the Packet Tracer just by signing up in one of those courses. And after you will download and install your Packet Tracer, this will be the view of your Packet Tracer. And as you can see here in the top, you will be able to see the logical and physical view of your network depending on the topology diagrams that we have explained when we learned about the first module in Introduction to Network. There we said that there are two topology diagrams, physical and logical, where the physical illustrates the physical location of intermediate device and cable installation, and the logical topology diagram illustrates devices, ports, and the addressing scheme of the network. So, in the other examples and studying, we will use only the logical part, but for the moment, for you to understand how to create a network, we will be in the physical part. But before we go there, let's go at the bottom of the Packet Tracer, and you will be able to see the devices that we may use to add in our network. So here will be routers, so there are different kind of routers. Here will be the switches, hubs, and so on. You will have even end devices from the computer, laptop server, mail server, Meraki server, sorry, network controller, and so on. And we will even use the network cables. So this is an automatically choose connection type. We will have the console cable when we will use to configure for the first time the initial configuration in the devices, network devices, intermediate network devices. This is a copper straight through cable that we will use when we connect different type of devices, when we copper crossover, when we connect devices with the same purpose, and so on. This is the fiber, and so on. We will explain them later when we will use them in our network. So let's go to the physical part and let's try to create a network. So to create a small network, we will need a router, a switch, and a computer and device. So to install our router and switch, we will need a rack. So let's go like this. Come on, you have to work. Why not working? No, I don't need that. Okay. So first we create a closet. So this is our closet. We don't have nothing in that. And then in our closet, so the first thing was to create a closet. Then in this closet you can create a rack when you have to install the intermediate devices, a switch, as router in this case. and a table where you can put on your desktop. So first thing what we will do is let's add a PC. So this is our PC, and if you click here and this is the physical part of the PC, you can see that it is on, and this is the first Ethernet port, this is the console port, and this is to configure the computer, but we will use this part. So this is the desktop view of your computer. This is the IP configuration when you can configure the IP static or dynamic, depend on how you will do it. This is a dial up. A modem interface is required. Okay, we will not use. So this is the terminal and command prompt. The command prompt is the command prompt of your computer that we will use most of the time to test our connection. And this is the terminal, is the software emulation that we use to connect with devices when we use the console cable, or in the future when you use the IP address of the devices to connect them remotely. So let's close this, and this is the web browser, and even this we will use for troubleshooting and testing the network. So the front line will be mostly used during our networking configuration and testing. And after that we have to add a switch, a router, sorry. So let's add the router here, and we will add even a switch. So we are using we are using this one. Okay, let's zoom it first so we can see that better. Zoom it more. Let's scroll down to our device. So this is our switch, and if you click here, this is the front view, this is the rear view, and at the front view, let's zoom this more. So at the front view, you can see that there are 24 ports and 2 Giga Ethernet ports, and here is the console port for configuring manager. And these are the LED lights that we explained in the last video of the switch during the boot sequence and the meaning of those LED lights. And you can configure the switch just by clicking here. This will be the command line of your switch. And this will be our router, and this is the rear view, this is the front view. And the front view, you can see the button when it power on and power off the switch, and there will be the interfaces of your switch. And as you can see, there are 3 gigabit Ethernet 00, 01, and 02, and the console port. And these are the slots when you can add more modules, for example, more Giga Ethernet ports or fiber ports. So, but for mostly used for our network examples and configuration, the router is okay with 3 Giga Ethernet port. But later you will see that we have to add even serial ports, and we will explain how to do that. So for the moment you saw that the devices were on, because by default all the devices that we add in our network are power on by default. So what we will do now is that we have to connect our devices. So we have to create our network. So to do that, we have to use the straight through. We connect with fast Ethernet in our computer. Let's go to fast Ethernet 01 at the switch, and this will be the connection. And we will go to Giga Ethernet 01 and Giga Ethernet 01 at the router. So we will choose both Giga Ethernet 01 and router at the switch. And with this, we are connecting our switch with the router. And this will be the connection of our network. And if you go into the logical view, this will be our network. So let's go one more time here. And now, after you created your network, you will need to configure that. The configuration will be done in the next video, but for the moment we will do the initial connection for configuration. So we will use the console cable, we will use the console port at the switch, and then by going to the rear view of the switch, we are connecting our switch with our computer. So now we will be able to configure our switch. As I said, you will be able even to do here in the command line. Just see, you are configuring the switch, or by going in our desktop view of our computer, we go to the terminal, we click OK, and as you can see, you are now configuring the switch. After you are done configuring the switch, what you can do is by removing the console cable from the connection with the switch and connect that with the router. Or if you don't want to do that, you just need to add another device, connect the device with the switch. For example, you can connect with the fast Ethernet 02, and then with another console cable, connect the second computer with the console port of the router. But here we will do the other. Okay, we will do this. We will go in the rear view. We will disconnect the console cable with the switch, and then we will connect it with the router. So if you go here at the command line of the router, you will be able that you are going to configure the default. Why is that? So you will be able to configure the switch, the router, sorry. And if you go here at the terminal emulation, if you click on, you can see that you are configuring the router. So we will do the configuration in the next video, and what we will configure in the next video will be about the, so we learn about the physical topology diagram and logical topology diagram in the packet tracer, and you saw the difference between them. And in the next video, what we will do there, it will be about the configuration, and we will configure the switch and the router, and in both of them we will configure name, password for the line console, virtual terminal, and we will configure the password for accessing the privileged access mode. We will encrypt those passwords. We will configure the banner message of the day, and for the switch we will configure the switch virtual interface, and at the router we will go through the same, but we will configure the interface of the switch, and all of those configuration will be done in the next video. So stay with us and see you to the next session, where we will be configuring those this network with the configuration that as explained in the slide before. Thank Thank you for being with us, and see you to the next session.